What's up guys? So kami dalawa lang ni Nico ngayon, bilang busy lahat ng tao. But we had to make an episode because the final four of the UAP is starting tomorrow. But of course also on Sunday, the NCAA will be also starting their championship with Benilde and Mapua, the top two seeds. So let's touch on that first a little bit. Although I have to admit I haven't really been able to follow the NCAA as much as I follow the UAP. But um, this is, I think for me, this was an expected thing naman at the start of the season. Although it is the first time that there isn't going to be a Beda or a Letran in the finals in the NCAA in years yata. But I think this is what everybody wanted to happen. Kasi sobrang loaded ng lineup ng CSB, and Mapua obviously is also trying to have a revenge season this year. I know Cletus Camis is mad that they didn't win last year. The championship last year was pretty close, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, alam ko naging close yung championship nila with San Beda last year. And alam mo yun, they were almost there. Alam mo yung feeling na yun na sayang. Yun yung pinakamasakit, especially for Escamis na he wanted to conclude that season na rookie MVP. Imagine mo yung naging rookie of the year, MVP ka pa, tapos naging champion ka pa all in 1 year.
I think the last
Diba?
player who was able to do that was Renza Bando pa with Litran, if I'm not
Really? Talaga? Hindi ko
mistaken.
alam yun ah. Like,
If
yung
I'm
mga
not
guys,
mistaken,
comment
yeah.
kayo. Comment kayo.
Oh, like rookie MVP tas win a championship. If not Renza Bando, I'm pretty sure the last guy to do that was Gabby Espinas
Tagal na
with
ng mga yun eh.
PCU, and PCU's not even in the league anymore.
Saan ba sila?
Sobrang tagal.
UCAL? Like, anong liga sila?
Hindi, yung PCU Dasmariñas is in UCAL, but the PCU in Manila, I don't know which leagues they're joining in eh.
PCU
Wait lang, tsaka
Maynila.
di rin ako masyadong sure. Alam ko kasi may PCU talaga sa Manila eh. So alam ko hindi, yung PCU Dasmariñas, alam ko hindi sila yung PCU talaga nila Gabi Espinas. So, I don't know. Comment nyo na lang kung mali kami or tama.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to Mapua and Benil. This is gonna be a very exciting series because I believe that these two teams are very well coached. That they're also very stacked with veteran players, and not just veteran players, stars actually. Of course, Mapua they have Escamis, but on the other side you have Tony Inot, you have Justin Sanchez, Alan Liwag is there. Who else did I miss? Sobrang loaded ng CSB. This is a CSB is practically, I could say, like maybe the UP of the NCAA in terms
Agreed,
of the
it's
talent
perfect.
that they
They
have. Yeah.
are the UP of the NCAA. Considering yun nga, no, dagdagan natin Jomel Ancheta, Gab Cometa. It's loaded till the last spot. Sina Sanko pa nga eh. Mark Sanko
Yeah,
still
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's more of a team na, okay, pag hindi gumagana yung laro ni Tony Inot, sige, babad natin si Ancheta. Hindi gumagana yung laro ni Sanchez. Let's try to see if we could put more minutes on Mark Sanko. It's more of, wala talaga masyadong drop-off pagdating sa Benild. I thought nga initially na hindi sila matatalo this
Yeah, nga
season.
eh. I thought it was gonna be a sweep for them, honestly. Pero that was the beauty of season 100 for the NCAA. Sobrang ganda ng mga games. Like each time I got time to watch, puta, talagang mga down the wire yung mga finishes, game winners and then unexpected comebacks, stuff like that. It was very fun to watch. Kaya naman nakakatawa talagang, even if the UAP has so much grandeur in terms of exposure, the NCAA is really a league worth watching in collegiate basketball here in the Philippines.
Yeah, super ano siya, like actually it's both the UAAP and NCAA this year till the last game, till the last day, nagde-determine pa ng seedings, 'di ba? Ganun yung situation niya. So, sakto for the NCAA season 100, there's hype heading into this one considering na for Benil as well, may konting pressure because um may mga rumors, 'di ba, na SGA will be taking over UE for season 88. Again, rumors pa lang. But of course, if they're gonna leave CSB already, like in terms of the support or majority of their support and move to the UAP, they want to end it with a bang. Na at least sinabi namin, nag-champion kami season 100. Especially na all the preparation you guys did to build this lineup.
Pero alam mo, having said that, I believe that even if they will support UE, if it is gonna happen, I think that Boss Frank and SGA, I think they have the resources to be able to back both CSB and UE.
Ah, feel ko rin na they could do it. Of course, sina Boss Frank naman have that capability to do so. But I think it's more of the focus na they don't
Agree,
want to
yeah.
half-ass
Sabagay,
things.
sabagay.
Which makes sense rin naman. Na kung bibigyan kami ng suporta sa isang program, o sige baka one from the NCAA. Because they also support Letran. Di
Yeah,
ba?
right.
So baka yung mindset nila, okay, let's do one U up, one NC. Kesa yung do two NC plus one UAP. In a way, mahirap. Di natin alam yung mindset nila what it means to be that kind of backer. Di ba na gano'n ka pala kahirap? Kasi for us, isip na natin, pagbibigay ka lang ng pera, okay na yun, di ba? Like, at least, lagay mo lang dito, allocate mo dito.
Pero hindi
Pero,
sila ganun
maybe,
lang eh. Hindi lang sila nagbibigay ng pera. I mean,
marami.
they're out there to win. Hindi naman sila magbibigay lang ng pera, tapos bahala na kayo sa buhay nyo. Hindi,
Hindi sila
taga,
ganun eh. Tutok sila
suporta
eh.
namin kayo. Siyempre, pangalan nila yung nakasalalay dyan kahit papaano. I mean, they
Oo.
also have a reputation to uphold. And the reputation that they built is when they support a team, it automatically shoots up in terms of performance.
Oo, ganun nga. Ganun nga talaga pagdating sa SGA, no? So, of course, we wanna end this year with a championship. And anything less than a championship is a disappointment.
Yep.
Actually, yung past three, they've been in the finals the past 3 years, di ba,
They have
Habs?
been in the finals, yeah.
So maybe third time is the charm.
Baka nga. So just very quickly, your predictions on this, will it go the distance? Game 3. This is just a best of 3 series, by the way. So talagang maikli lang talaga.
Mm, Benil din 2.
Woohoo! Benil din too,
Benil
eh.
din 2. Benil din 2.
Ako,
Grabe,
ano,
believe ako talaga sa Benil eh.
ako Benil din 3.
Benil din 3.
I think Mapua will have one win. I actually even foresee that Mapua might actually get game 1.
Oh, so back against the wall, Benil. Siguro
Yeah.
sa team mangyayari.
Kasi for some reason, I don't know, parang these guys might play better with their backs against the wall. I feel like in terms of pressure, siguro masanay ang mga players ng Benilde in that, right? Because these guys are more seasoned, I think, compared to the Mapua core. But that also doesn't take away anything from Clint Escamis and his boys. I mean, sila Coach Randy Alcantara. I'm sure that they're also out to prove something. Matagal na rin yung last championship na mapuha sa NCAA. So, this is a good time for them to be able to say that, hey, we're not just any other school here trying to compete. We're also trying to win chips again. I don't even know when their last championship was in the NCAA. I don't think there was any championship in the 2000s era. It might have even been in the 90s pa. I don't know. I'm gonna try to check later as we record. Pero this that be with all those facts laid out there, it's gonna be an exciting series, whatever happens.
Nakalagay dito, the Cardinals have won a total of 6 NCAA titles, the first in 1949, the last in 1991. Then
Damn.
again, Google to, so
But
Wikipedia, but most likely tama naman, 1991. It's been that long, Havs.
Di ko na nga ma-imagine kung sino players sila. I'm trying to think of prominent Mapua players. Well, I mean, Coach Randy was Mapuan, and I think panahon pa nga yata ni Coach Randy yan eh.
But 1991
That that that
Cardinals
might
coached by
that might have
Joel Banal.
that might have been this year. Kasi teammates yan sila eh. Si Coach Randy, si Coach Chito. That's why Coach Chito is helping Mapua in a not in an how do you say this? In an informal manner. Kumbaga, hindi naman siya talagang part of the staff. Pero just because he was former teammates with Coach Randy, tumutulong siya pagka kailangan ni Coach Randy.
Huh, ano pala yun? Ito, 1991. Grabe, tagal na nga talaga. So, and to do it, if they do it against a Benil team, na heavily favored, that's That's easily
Sarap
your
nun,
best
sarap.
championship for sure.
At
Oo.
saka yung mga tao sa Taft, they're really primed for a big street party this year because this is the first time I think in a while since Benil won its last championship.
2000?
Kasi, oh, kasi
2000?
champion din Lasal nun eh. So malaking street party yata sa Taft yun at that time. So, I'm sure everybody in Taft is very excited for that to happen again. So,
All green na yun, no? All
all
green.
green, oh.
Pero they have to beat Mapua first. It's not like
Yeah.
Mapua's a walk in the
Aqua
park
is
considering.
definitely in their way.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, we're definitely excited for that. Now let's move on to the UAP. The individual awards were already released, and Kevin Cambao, for the first time since Ben Mbala, has gotten the MVP back-to-back seasons, and he is joined in the mythical five by JD Kagulangan. Michael Phillips is also there, as well as Nick Cabanyero, and also FEU's Mo Konate. It was supposed to be Precious Momaway instead of Nick Cabanyero, kaya lang Precious Momaway was already disqualified because of the two unsportsmanlike fouls that he
Kawawa
got
no? Ang
against
dami na no?
UST last November 9. And
Well,
these guys were really spectacular this season. Parang no surprises naman in terms of the mythical five. BJ Pre is the rookie of the year. That I think even if Jared Bahay had a good season for Ateneo, and also actually the race was pretty close in terms of statistical points, but I think that second round that VJ Pre had made it a no-brainer for him to win. I mean, the 31 points and 14 assists. My God, for a rookie, that's crazy.
oh, crazy 31 and 14 rebounds niya. And with
14 rebounds
VJ
ba?
Pre, yeah,
Ah,
walang
okay, 14.
assist,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
rebounds.
Assist yung nabasa ko dito. Yeah,
Gago
sorry.
wild kung nagfo-14 assist si VJ
14 years.
Pre.
Kaya nga, sabi ko,
Galing yun na
what?
sa Gilasan kung ganyan.
Yeah, sorry. I read in one article it was 14 assists. I was like,
I think
huh?
typo,
Bakit?
yeah. 14
Naman
rebounds, yeah.
playmaker. Oh, typo nga.
Bigyan ka nagulat eh, no? Bakit playmaker to bigla?
Ay, sorry.
Anyway, VJ Pre, more of, I think, yun nga, sabi mo halves na, di ba, second round, na that's where they got their wins. Where they were able to get back from the bottom to at least be respectable sa standings ng UAP, no? And kasama kasi yan sa ano eh, sa pag-judge ng Rookie of the Year, yung statistical points, kasama doon yung wins eh.
Wins,
And
yeah.
dahil Ateneos at the last, it didn't help Bahay's case. Kasi pagdating sa stats, magkakalapit lang sila eh.
Oo, halos magkalapit lang.
Pero dahil sa mga wins ng FEU, I think that's where VJ Preset separated himself from Jared Bahay. Alam mo, Habs, medyo hot take to sabihin, pero feel ko si VJ Pre could be a mythical 5 candidate na by as early as next year, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I have no doubt also that's going to happen. Kasi, I mean, with the season that he had, I think he was just feeling it out. But, this guy was a standout in the juniors division. And I think may konting adjustment lang, taking the responsibility of trying to lead a young team in a new division, 'di ba? Medyo mahirap rin naman talaga gawin 'yun. So, I think medyo tsamba nga lang na hindi siya umabot ng Mythical 5. Siguro mga 10 points, 10 statistical points yung what separated him from the next guy, from Nick Cabanero. I guess he had around 50 something statistical points, and Nick Cabanero had like around 61. Nick Cabanero had 61.
Yeah,
So,
the first round didn't help him at all. Like si
yeah.
VJ Pre. They just didn't help him at all. Pero yun nga, no?
Ayun. Pre
Kapag
finished
nag-Final
with
Four sila,
50.9 statistical points. And he edged out Jared Bahay by just 3.9
lapit.
statistical.
3.9.
Sobrang lapit. Nick Cabanero finished with 61 statistical points. So, maybe if FEU had more wins, he might have been a shoe-in for the Mythical 5 selection.
When do you think he becomes MVP? Third year?
Soon. I
Third
mean,
year.
can do you agree that this guy is kind of like a Kevin Kiambao in the making? Medyo ganun yung laro niya eh. Or is he more like an Alvin Pasaol?
Parang hindi, it's a mix of both eh. Parang, or more of one talaga rin to si VJ Pre. Hindi pwede
Pwede.
i-pencilin eh. 'Di ba? Kasi KQ,
I mean, you've been able to follow him more than I did. I was only able to watch him once this season. So, what are your thoughts on his potential as a player in the UAE?
The UAAP, para siyang ano eh, I feel like he could get you a consistent double-double per game as early as next year. Maybe 14 and 10, 14 and 11. Considering that he's also a good rebounder. I think, pero si KQ kasi may passing ability. Iba pa rin yung passing at IQ ni Kiambao compared to how VJ Pre is. But si Pre, it's more, he helps you out in other ways. More of, ano kasi siya eh. Maybe he's like I'm thinking of a player na kanina siya, it's like a hybrid of like Pasaol and Kiambao minus the passing. So maganda pa rin naman yung ceiling but more of maybe he should transition to playing more
And
as a
can
2
you
guard
also add
3 4.
a little Mike Phillips to that mix?
Mike, no, 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 no. Iba si Mike eh. Iba si
Bye
Mike
bye.
eh. Iba rin si Mike eh. Iba. It's really hard to pencil VJ Prega considering na unique rin kasi yung laro niya.
So I think it's better to say that he is a one of one talent.
He's a one of one talent considering na wala rin ang maisip na pinaka-closest na player na pwede siya i-box in if just for our viewers na mag-iisip kayo ng, oh sige, sino bang pwedeng point of comparison yun? Wala akong maisip eh. Wala rin ako na, it's just more kasi sabi niya kasi
Kahit
idol
ba
niya
sa
si
PBA
KQ.
top of your head, wala ka maisip. Sa NLEX wala ba?
Gagi, JV Mocon. You know,
Oh,
JV,
okay, okay, okay.
remember JV Mocon back with San Beda? Parang it's just the guy na gugulat ka na lang gives you like 13 and 11, 13 and 12.
I think
Knows
that's
where
a,
to
I
position
think that's a
himself.
good comparison because
JV
I saw
Mocon.
JV when he was still starting out. In fact, JV was supposed to play for us in high school. As in,
FEU? Talaga? Mag-FEU
he,
ba dapat yun?
he practiced with us a few times, and the last time that he practiced with us, parang okay na, kuha na siya,
Okay.
paperwork na lang yung kailangan. And then suddenly we found out that he was going to Beda instead. And the rest is history. But at that time, a big man pa talaga si JV. Hindi pa
Oo.
talaga siya guardia, the wing player that he is now. So yeah, I think that's a very nice comparison. Kasi si VJ
Di
pre,
ba?
ganun, yung big man rin siya nung high school eh.
So, Pre is in that transition right now to moving to a wing.
Yeah.
Siguro, especially
A
with Coach
three
Sean
and four.
Chambers
He's gonna be
knowing
a three
na
and four guy in the future.
I agree, oo. Or maybe, at the very least, at the very most, baka maging two. Hindi mo alam
Yeah.
eh, paano ba yung magta-transition yung katawan niya eh.
Honestly, talking about the 2, 3, and 4 spots, medyo interchangeable na yun talaga ngayon eh. Actually, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots, that's very interchangeable right now. It's really just the center position that you can distinguish. Minsan nga, hindi pa eh. Yeah, but that's the beauty of the basketball that we have in this era. It's really more positionless. So it doesn't really matter what number of position you play on the floor as long as you know your role.
Tapos dagdag ko lang rin, no, Havs. For people who say na hindi magaling si JV Mocon, magaling si JV Mocon, nasa 23 for 23 ng Gilas yan. He doesn't have the same oomph to his name right now. Pero back in the day, pag mo JV Mocon, legit yan. Gilas
Legit
cadet,
yan. Legit
iisipin
yan.
mo kay JV Mocon. Kaya yun yung naisip ko kay VJ Pre, just because of
He's just
the
not
transition.
just didn't become a really big star compared to his peers in the
Oo,
PBA.
oo.
But back in college, bro, he was something, and he was a vital cog of that San Beda dynasty.
High school to college actually,
High
yun yung
school to
parang peak
college, oh.
Mocon for me.
High
And
school
then
to
sa pros naman, nakakasabay naman siya, but not the superstar that some people would thought he would translate to, but still serviceable player
yeah, service.
for any team that gets him. Or with us right now sa NLEX. Kaya nalala ko, wait lang. Mukon, pre, pwede.
Ayun, so that's your mythical five for season 87. Now for the final four, it's gonna be UP and then Lasal Adamson. Let's first talk about UP. They're gonna be the first game tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday, and we already talked about it in one of our previous episodes. How UST can actually have a chance against UP, and one of the things you mentioned, Nico, one of the things we highlighted was for UST to make JD Kagulangan a scorer.
Mm-mm.
And because when he becomes a scorer, everyone else just shuts out offensively para sa UP. Kumbaga, JD supposed to be the one. It's supposed to start with JD, pero kung siya parati yung tumatapos, nawawala ng spotlight yung iba niyang teammates. I don't know why this happens, but for me it's just really because of the firepower that they have, that everybody just really has to eat para sa kanila for them to be successful.
Yeah, I mean it's more of how do you get these guys involved, no, or the players for UP na if if JD is being pressured by the guards of UST na kaya naman talaga, they have the personnel to do so. How do you insert yourself into the offense when your point guard is having a hard time? And I think that will be solved, to be honest, nan Habs, because in the games that UP was losing, JD was averaging more than 5 turnovers a game, and that is because, di ba remember, pag-usapan natin na at that time, Jerry, Harold were having horrible games. 'Di ba? In the past, nung time na yun, kaya sila tatalo because after JD, sino nang tutulong sa kanya? Francis Lopez was scoring a bit, yeah, but 7 to 10 points a game, not really gonna help you out, especially in that game against NU, wherein you didn't know who was gonna help our point guard, who was gonna help Kagulangan. But now that Alarcon has seemingly found his confidence, remember that game against UE? UE ba yun? Where he had that 33 points?
33 points, yeah.
Yeah, and then Abadiano had 19 the other day before the Alarcon explosion. That kind of confidence will just help out the Fighting Maroons. More of like mas teams will now be more wary that, oh, Alarcon's back. Abadiano's found his confidence. So the fact na may ganun na, and the fact that QMB is also there, is also back with them, like after he was just gone for one game. This just makes UP more dangerous, and that UST needs to find ways on how they can disrupt them off their game.
Actually, it was both games for Harold Alarcon against UST, wherein he ended up as the top scorer. The first game that they had in the first round, he scored 16 points in that game. And then he had the 33 points in the second round encounter. So, and in this game, let's also take this time to break down two of the games that they had during the elimination round. So UP ended up winning both of those games. The first one was an 81 to 70 victory. And in this game, ito talaga yung recipe for success ng UP. When you have at least four guys scoring in double figures, and then you have these are like six guys with at least 8 points. So when this happens, UP is very dangerous because hindi mo alam kung sino yung bibigyan mo ng attention defensively. At least kung sino pa talaga yung bababaran mo sa depensa, di ba? Is it gonna be Alarcon? Is it gonna be Francis Lopez? Is it gonna be Fortea, Abadiano, or the other guys, right? They just have so much firepower that when they score this way, it's so hard to stop them. And in this game, they didn't have JD Kagulangan in this game.
Exactly. Tapos dagdag ko rin no, Havs. Napansin ko sa mga laban ng UST versus UP in the first two rounds was that UST always starts great, right? Especially in the first half. They always, I think they're leading heading into halftime. But then the second half is where things start to change. For some reason, they're unable to solve UP's counter, which in turn dire-diretso na eh. If it's not the third quarter, fourth quarter, they get outscored so bad. There was a game there that parang they were outscored 24 to 11. Not sure kung sa last game nila yun. I think it's in their second round game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But more of, they need to study the tape and see ano ba ginagawa natin sa second half na ginagawa ng UPs para ma-counter natin. So parang unahan nyo na what changes they did. So it's a second half collapse. That's been the consistent thing that's been happening with UST. And outside your big three of Mo Tungkara, Fortsky Padrigao, and Nick Cabanero, who's gonna be that next guy? You need a fourth guy to keep up, to keep this game respectable or to steal game one and push it to a game two. Will it be Paranada? Will it be Crisostomo? Will it be Christian Manaytay? 'Di ba? Kasi may nawawala yung mga yun sa games against UP eh. So, yun yung mga questions for UST. You need to have at least four guys locked, at least playing their A+ game so that you could steal game one.
I think those two guys that you mentioned, I think sila talaga yung, kumbaga, pwede mong i-pinpoint as two guys that have to contribute for UST to be able to force this into a rubber match. In that second game that they had, it was Manaytay who scored in double figures together with Tongkara and Caballero. Padigao played 30 minutes in that game, but he had a horrible shooting night. He only had 5 points, 2 out of 11 from the field, and he also had 3 turnovers. So, but he did dish out 6 assists, but still, you want Fortsky to be on his A game, like you said. Those three guys, parang non-negotiable na yan eh. Si Padrigao, si Caballero, tsaka si Tongkara. Matic na dapat yan. If they have a bad game, if one of them has a bad game, then your chances for winning suddenly really dip drastically. Unless, of course, there are other guys like Manaytay and Paranada, and maybe one other guy, maybe it could be Emil Sido or Jello Crisostomo for that matter, who can step up and carry the load. But yun nga, those three guys, Tungkara, Cabanero, and Padrigao, they have to be at their A game. I think the X factor for this is really Fortsky.
Sportsky, I agree. Hindi uubra yung 2 for 11 yung mga ganyang shooting line against UP. You have to score at least 40 to 45% of your field, make 40 to 45% of your field goals. How does he pressure JD? How does he keep up? Di ba yung heft rin ni Kagulangan considering Fortsky is on the thinner side when it comes to the point guard position, but his IQ I feel like is the best amongst all the point guards in the UAP right now.
Yeah, but that I feel like he knows what it takes to be able to match up with JD. This is a guy that he's went to battle with, especially in the championship when Fortsky was still with Ateneo. I'm sure that he's still reeling from that loss. Obviously, it was JD who won that series for UP, and I know that meron pang mga there's still some wounds that Fortsky is trying to heal from that series, especially because yun nga, it was JD who knocked down that shot. And it's such a heartbreaker for you. You had a mythical 5 season, Fortsky did, and then you were already on the brink of a championship. It went down to a final shot. So this is sort of like a good window for him to have to have a revenge to have revenge against JD, and at least try to force this into a rubber match.
Actually, in a way, para silang tied. They're tied 1-1. Kasi yung 84, Fortsky, yung sabi mo, yung the shot, Fortsky was already in the team, pero bangko siya nun eh. Sa 85, nabawi niya. So 1-1 na sila ngayon. With
Oh yeah,
eight
tama
se-
tama.
yeah, for season 85, he's the lead point guard. Tapos nakapagsabayan talaga siya dun with JD. So in a way 1-1 sila, but with JD having the obvious advantage kasi not obvious advantage, which is more of 1-1, but whoever wins the series, at least personally for them, mas may lamang na kung sino yung makalusot, diba? But of course, you have to win the championship. And the fact na rin na UP has a obvious roster advantage over anyone here. Kasi ano, diba, Havs? After Tongkara, after Mo Tongkara, there's a big drop off na eh sa bench who's gonna help you out compared to UP na bad game si ganito. Let's replace him with this one. Bad game si Alarcon. Pasok natin si Baila. Let's see what he can do. May ganun silang luxury. While UST, the pressure is on your stars. The pressure is on your
Yeah.
starters. So, it's more of hindi dapat pwede mag-fall off yung big three nila or else it's gonna be ugly.
Sorry, I have to correct myself. I got it mixed up. Harold didn't have 33 points
Ano ba,
against you.
31?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't against USD. I think it was against UE.
Ay. Parang tama naman. Parang you said UE kanina. 33 points
Sabi ko ba
against
UE?
UE.
Okay.
Oh, alam ko UE. Yeah, tama ka.
Sorry,
Sinabi mo lang na ano.
I have to cut so much numbers that sometimes nalilito na talaga ako.
Pero tama ka. Tama ka. Minention mo na it was against UE. Tapos sinabi mo rin kanina na Harold top scored in the two games against Uste.
Well, he did.
Well, not top score, but he played well compared to how he did in the second round.
He
Like
top scored in the
overall.
first game and then third
Ayun.
leading scorer in the next.
Yeah. Tama ka. Hindi ka nagkamali. Tama naman.
Ayun. So, yun. This is gonna, for me, if UP will get past UST, they're gonna have to do it tomorrow. Wag na nila
Tapusin na.
paabutin.
Tapusin na.
Wag na nila paabutin ng winner take all. Because if they do, delikado sila.
Magkaka-Renzo Subido moment ulit ang UP. Naalala mo yun,
Bro, fucking hate
the
for that
last
to
time,
happen.
the last time UST and UP met, well, Renzo Subido was there twice to beat ang UP. UST did not the impossible, but they did the harder task. Di ba?
They did.
So, sino yung magiging Renzo Subido moment? Sino yung magiging Renzo Subido
Yeah, and
na, ano, di ba, matchup na to?
I think just as a fan, no, parang I would hate to face UST in a do or die with that kind of crowd. Eh, okay, I mean, just playing in the UAP with all the drums and the cheers of the crowd, but just particularly for UST, having being on the other team and playing against a crowd that goes go Uste, go Uste. When you go, when UST goes on a run and then you hear that, parang fuck, nakakaratel pare, di ba?
Or next thing you know, mapapaganon ka na rin. Teka lang, taga-UP ako ah.
Di ba?
Nakakikit
Di
eh.
ba? Well, a lot of the player I was watching the UAP Varsity channel, yung isa sa mga features nila, I forgot what you call that feature when yung mga former players when they
Ah,
talk
shit, alam ko yan. Yung sa
when they talk
Legends
about
ba yan?
Tony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, kahit sila Joseph Yo, they acknowledge that na parang, tangina, wild. Ang ganda, parang sinasabi nila kay Coach Christian na, alam mo, ang ganda ng cheer ninyo.
Nakakaano talaga. Mapapasama ka talaga. So, traffic, guys, sa Araneta sa Saturday, I suggest na agahan nyo by 12:30 pa nandun na kayo. Kasi first
Traffic.
game kayo eh. First game ng UP versus UST at
Yeah,
3:30. So, agahan nyo na. The sparking will be hell.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
I
Okay,
think ano rin halves like for UP, if you're UST, just more on UST, try to out rebound UP. I noticed na the rebounding advantage here for the Fighting Maroons has been huge. I think by 8, 43 to 35 nung second round. And then nung first round, it is ano ba? Wait, sorry. The first round was even. So that's one of the things din na kailangan nyo tingnan considering that the more chances you guys get to shoot, then more opportunities.
I think that's a challenge that every team has had to face against UP. Maybe just with the exception of LaSalle, because UP is probably the tallest team in the league in terms of
Laki.
average height. So you have good height from the point guard position up until the center position. So, that's one of the things where they capitalize on. And that's why UP is the number one team in terms of fast break points because they're able to secure the defensive rebound and run right away. Ito rin talaga yung kailangan nila paganahin. Because I feel like if they go into their half court set a lot, it's going to be so much easier for UST to guard them.
Yeah, actually, oo. But the fact na that these are two teams in the top two in fast break opportunities, in fast break points, feel like takbuhan makikita natin dito, House. It's gonna be a fun one. Feel ko ma-reach nila yung mga 70 to 80 points. But who knows, right? The final four, bigla na lang. Ano yung weird bit? Lahat nagdepensa. So, interesting to see. It's a game na I wanna watch live, then I can just go home right after.
Bruh, honestly, kung di lang
Nood
talaga
ka?
birthday.
Nood ka?
Gusto ko sana manood. Manonood talaga dapat ako. Kaya lang, birthday ng pamangkin ko. First birthday. So baka sabihin
Ah,
na naman,
okay. Medyo special pag first
baka sabihin
birthday.
na naman ng
Yeah.
pamilya ko na, pwede ka naman di manood dyan. Parang, wala ka
Would
namang,
make
hindi ka,
sense though. Pwede ka naman manood sa
no.
phone mo. Like, kasi
Well, yeah,
first
manonood
kid.
ako sa phone for sure. Pero you know what? I just really want to watch live, man. Lalo na Araneta lang.
O, they wish for a game too. Parang against sa kalooban mo eh, no? So parang sinasabi mo, wish ko matalo UP para mag-game 2.
I will not say that on record. Alam ko nanonood si Gov John Vic. Baka
Ano naman yung golf yan? Para lang makapanood ka in live. Yun lang naman gusto ko.
Yun lang
Ma-enjoy
naman.
mo.
Yun lang naman. So that's that. It's gonna be a very exciting Final Four matchup between UST and UP. I feel like it's gonna be close. It's gonna go down the wire. I feel like not not one team will be able to really pull away. Feeling ko kahit na mag-lead ang UP na malaki, say in the first so like the trend that has been happening, 'di ba, na magiging good starting with UST and then UP suddenly starts to pull away. I think sa umpisa pa lang, it's gonna be close and then maybe UP will try and pull away in the middle of the game and then UST will cut it close and then it's gonna go down the wire. I feel like that's what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Or it ends with like that JD sidestep three on the left wing to nail the coffin. Ganun eh.
Yeah, I
Usually,
hope I hope that's what happens. Because I don't wanna see anything similar to a Renzo Subido's shot happening tomorrow.
interesting. Interesting game to say the least. It's
And I
something.
think Renzo's covering the game tomorrow.
What an irony! Whose idea was that to put Renzo Sobido in the UP
Sabi niya
versus.
magko-cover siya tomorrow afternoon. So di ko lang alam kung anong game. If it's the Adamson Lasal game or if it's the UST-UP game. But judging by the way the analysts have been lined up this season, I think he's gonna be calling that UST-UP game. Because if it's not Renzo, I'm pretty sure it might be Jego.
Actually, it's either a UP or a
That's
UST
been the
guy na.
trend, no, this season.
Kaya ba ni Diego mag play-by-play? Silang dalawa na lang kaya.
Diba? Pwede, masaya yun,
Was
bro.
Diego in that team
Masaya yun.
when
No, pero
he was still there, right?
that was bright. Wala na
2019.
yata siya nun. Wala na.
Wala
Ah,
na. It's been that long?
yeah, alam ko wala na siya nun. Wala na siya nun.
Dude, it's been that long? Tagal
It's
na,
been
no?
that
Like,
long, bro. It's been
fuck.
that long. It's been that long since Diego's been in college. Babyface lang kasi kaya hindi natin
I
maisip.
always thought Diego just graduated 2022. Ganun yung
No.
iniisip ko. Parang, wala na siya?
I'm not sure when he actually graduated, but alam ko
Pero
uh,
batchmate ko yun eh. Oh,
his
he's 30.
last playing year was alam ko before the pandemic pa yung last playing year
Ah,
niya.
okay. So it's been that long. Kasi alam ko, oh nga, batchmate ko si Diego. Yeah, yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. He's my batchmate natin yun eh. Oh,
Batchmate mo. Hindi,
batchmate ko
hindi.
pala. Sorry.
Hindi, tayo magka-batch eh.
2016 ako nag-graduate college.
Okay. So baka
1 year lang naman pagitan. Basta, ganun. So, dapat, most likely, last playing year ni Diego was
wala eh.
2016 to
Masyado ako nag-enjoy sa
2017.
college kaya di rin ako 2016 nag-graduate.
Okay lang yan. Masaya ka naman. Oh, look at where you are now, diba? Parang, enjoy life.
Okay, let's move on to the LaSalle Adamson matchup. Okay, just give me a moment to bring up the two games that they had during the first round and the second round. But props to Adamson really, Coach Nash and his boys making the impossible possible once again for how many straight year again is this? Them doing this? Third straight year na ba to? Going through the ringer just to get into the final four? Or
Yes,
second?
sir. 85, 86, 87. They made it in 85. They missed last year. And then now they made it. So 85, 87.
It's crazy. I mean, just watching them that game against UE, they were such a different team that they were the whole season. Don't you agree?
Yeah, may kwento ako dyan, no? So, nakausap ko si Monty Montebon at si Manzano the other day after ng game nila against UE. And they
Okay.
said na, well, on Monty's side, it's more of, ang dami nilang players-only meetings ng second round, or at least yung patapos ng first round. Tapos naglalabasan sila ng sama ng loob with one another. So sabi ko, shit, like college team kayo pero kaya na gawin yan. Di ba not everybody can take criticism right in the face and be able to act upon it. So sila, nakikinig daw sila. So that's why Montebon kind of changed his game. He's averaging like more than 5 assists in the last three
Seven.
games. Diba?
Seven.
7
And
nung
I
UE.
think I read an article earlier today wherein Coach Nash said, kaya nga to si Monty, parang yabang ngayon eh. 7 assists siya per game eh.
Oo. And that is because of a product of those players only meetings na they told him, you shoot a lot, try to pass more. Ganoon na siya. Buti hindi to Quincy Miller type of thing na he's not gonna shoot a freaking field goal the whole game. It's more of balance na ngayon for Monty. That's is why parang na-unlock a different side of Adamson that teams have not been preparing for. This is an Adamson team na, wait, I thought Monty was just gonna shoot. But this time, Monty's looking to give it to the next best shot possible. While kay Manzano naman, mention niya sa akin na sinabon sila na sobra in one practice early in the second round. That's why nag-flip din yung switch. Kasi hindi ko alam how bad. I don't know how bad yung pagsabon sa kanila was, but hey, they're in the final four. Gumana.
You know what? Coach Nash is someone I've always been very impressed with. the way that he manages his teams, the way that he tries to get the best out of his squads is, he doesn't really try to go overboard in terms of, alam mo yun, hindi siya yung tipo na mumurahin ka parate, ganyan-ganyan.
Hindi ganun style niya eh.
Oh, hindi ganyan yung style niya eh. But you know that when he gets really mad, tanga na, kailangan umayos na talaga kayo. So talagang kaya di rin ako nagulat nung sinabi mo na sinabi
Sinasabad na sila.
na sinabon sila. Tana, I'm pretty sure I'm sure Coach Nash was so fed up na with with what has been happening to them this season, the struggles that they've been going through, all the close calls and everything, and also all the blowout games. Parang ano, fuck this, gago. Di naman, this is not us. And, for him, I think he's so fed up now with them just peaking in the second round. Kasi first round, parang flat sila the past few years eh. And nanggaling na rin sa kanya na baka nga there's something that we have to change about our program. Maybe it's because, we're not like the other teams. We don't really go abroad and play lots of games with each other. We don't go to training camps abroad, just like the other squads. Kami, dito lang kami, tune-up lang, laro sa mga preseason tournament, laro sa probinsya, ganyan-ganyan. So they don't get as much time on the court with each other as possible compared to the other teams because um ang sabi niya, they bring in a lot of new guys almost every season eh. So, for them to be fully integrated talaga to the team, especially with what they do on the court, you really have to have a lot of time playing together. And, playing tune-up games doesn't really cut it to enough eh.
Yeah. And just to build more on what you said, no, na, yeah, Coach Nash is really not the type of guy to get mad. So sabi rin talaga ni said na,
Sorry, Nico, before you continue, I just wanna say that si Coach Nash kasi he's part of one of our GCs eh, basta one of our
really? Saan to?
oh, so
Anong,
ay di, kasama ka doon pare. So anyway,
anong
pag
group chat to? Wala ako dun.
nandun ka, basta anyway, ayoko lang sabihin. But anyway,
Sige, mamaya, mamaya.
pag nagmumura ako, lagi niya ako i-message, no bad words ah.
No bother.
Sorry, go. Continue what you were saying. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, kasi parang sasabi rin ni Manzano na the coaches have been so kind to them all throughout. Sabi niya yun yung sabi na kaya nung nagalit sila, alam namin may mali kami ginagawa. Sabi niya yun. Sabi ko, oh, interesting. Interesting to see, to hear that from you guys. Na hindi sila sanay na magagalit sila. Sabi ko, wow. Unlike for a college team, no? Kasi considering sa college kasi that's where you can get
Yeah,
mad
yeah.
every day at those boys. Hindi na
Eh,
obra
kasi
sa professionals yun eh.
sobrang professional sobrang pro team yung style ng pagpatakbo nila eh. Of course, Coach Nash
Coach Nash, yeah.
and Coach Gilbert, sanay yan sa PBA, ganun kung paano sila
PNP.
magpatakbo ng team. So as
Mm.
much as possible, they're really more the X's and O's and just trying to really motivate them in a way na hindi nila mumurahin or talagang sasabunin. Talagang ipapakita nila kung saan ka mali, ganito, ganyan. You're gonna try to talk to you in the nicest way possible. But you know that talagang you're doing something wrong if talagang sinabot ka na nila Coach Nash.
Yeah.
And
So,
you know, for them do that, that's really very valid because their two games against LaSalle, they lost by an average margin of almost 27 points. Lost by 30 in one game and then 25 in the next.
and I think glaring Jan Havs is the assist numbers. Adamson had a game there where they only had 8 assists. What's the other one? 11, 12,
11.
11. 'Diba? That's that's already below their average of 14, which is good for 6 out of 8 in the UAP. So kung dyan pa lang, hindi umikot yung bola nyo, hindi papasok yung mga tres nyo, what else can you do?
But one of the
But,
highlights for Adamson this season is they are the best defensive team in the league. Kaya lang,
exactly.
di lang nila talaga napakita dito against LaSalle. But the caveat is they're also the worst offensive team in the league.
Kaya sabi ko na, if you're Adamson, if you're gonna, they're the type to win ugly. Pero make sure, isama nyo yung team na kalaban nyo to win ugly. Hindi pwede kayo lang yung ugly game. Ganun nangyayari sa Lasal eh. All the other teams, nada-drag down talaga nila to play their style of game wherein paghihirapan nyo yung bawat basket nyo. Ganun yung mantra ng Adamson. Even against UP. UP, has had two grinded out games against Adamson, especially in the second round. We're in the last 2 minutes lang sila nakaarangkada before they were able to break away from the Falcons. It's the same also, same issue. The same issue. Same story as well for the first round. It's just really Lasal. Wherein Adamson is not able to figure them out. But now that Monty is kind of changing his game to more of a facilitator while still maintaining that kind of averages and points, maybe that changes things, right? So, but I still don't know who's gonna guard KQ. Naisip ko nga lang, Habs, who are we gonna put on Kevin Gambao? Si
You
Franzman lang
you
talaga eh.
you can't put just one guy on KQ. Yeah, Franzman might be the best guy to do that, but I think they're gonna have to throw a lot of different schemes on him. Try
Double
go
teams,
double team
traps.
traps, whatever, single coverage at sometimes, but you can't be able to contain him if you're just gonna have one defensive scheme against him the whole game. I'm sure Coach Nash and his staff they know that. So I'm expecting not just Franzman to be on assignment with him. I think Manzana will have his looks against him also. They might even go as far as putting a small guy on him. Maybe a guy like Joshua Yero on him.
Oh yeah, Yero's kind of bulky as well for a guard. So, pwede rin. Medyo ano talaga, like, medyo dehado talaga Adamson even in terms of matchup eh. From the center to the point guard
Yeah,
spot sa starting five, wala silang advantage. Usually, di ba, there's like one advantage, right? Like with UP, I'm gonna choose Mo Tungkara over his matchup. But the rest, UP, di ba? Dito sa Lasal and Adamson, it's overwhelming Lasal.
it really is. But with the emergence of of Monty with the play that he has been showing as of late, I think it was really it boded well para sa kanya kasi now it relieves a lot of the pressure on him. I think he was just really so pressured to score a lot during the elimination round that it became so hard for him because it became so easy for the teams to defend him eh. Naging sobrang predictable siya eh. Ay hindi, ito titira lang to si Montebon. So talagang
Oo, predictable siya
it,
nung
tira
earlier.
ka dyan, pero will be on you the whole time. But he didn't recognize that there were other guys who could make shots on the floor when he has the basketball. Because when the defense is on you, that really opens up a lot of the opportunities for the other guys. That's basic basketball, and I'm sure he knows that. Good thing that he realized it at the right time when things are already becoming more serious para sa kanila when there was already a lot on the line.
I agree. And I think just to conclude my take here on Adamson, we really don't have to talk much. I mean, about Lasal, we already know what they could give, no? But for Adamson, since sila yung ngayon dehado, I think that their 3-point shooting needs to connect here, Havs. They're number 3 in the league, right? In 3-point shooting at 28%, while Lasal number 1 at 30%. They cannot shoot below 20% against the LSU. Kasi yung 3-point shooting nyo talaga yung magiging lifeline nyo when it comes to playing against Lasal. And make sure that the ball is moving. And with that, if those two things are checked off your box, then we could see a close game by Saturday. Close game lang. I'm not saying it's a win. I'm saying it's a close game.
Yeah, for me also, I think that the best thing that Adamson could do tomorrow is really keep it close until the end. Make sure they just give themselves a chance na makasilat sa dulo. But it's really going to be hard to try and predict the win para sa kanila considering what happened during the first and second rounds. But this is a very different team than what LaSalle faced in their first two games this season. So I'm sure Coach Topex and his staff and the players are very wary of that. Just to add to what Adamson should do tomorrow, I think guys like Yero and Kalisay should step up scoring wise as well. These guys are veterans, Yero is their team captain. I think he's playing his final year already. This should be, the time for him to step up. Kasi it's now or never para sa kanya. If not now, kung matalo kayo, wala na. That's the end of your college career, right? So, I suggest that he really takes on the mantle and tries to deliver in terms of the offense while also doing his thing defensively pa rin.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I see that game playing out. with regards to what we said to on between the De La Salle Green Archers and Adamson Soaring Falcons.
Yeah, and for LaSalle, obviously just play your game. That's
Yeah, wala
that's
kayo ba yan? Yun na yan.
that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I don't think we have to discuss any keys to the game para sa kanila, what we've seen the whole season. There's really not a lot to nitpick para sa kanila kasi ikaw ba, have you seen like points in their game where they really had to improve? Yun doon sa mga talo nila. Ano yung mga napansin mo doon?
Ng Lasal. Okay, let's go to I was actually gonna do that. I'm looking for a Lasal loss. Saan ba sila natalo? Lasal,
They lost to NU and
NU.
to UE.
Okay, then I'll just look for the NU game kasi yung UE medyo ano na yun eh.
First
That
round
was
pa yun.
first round pa eh. Teka lang,
And parang medyo
DLSU.
nagulat sila doon eh. I think that was really sort of shocking pa. And I'm sure they bounced back from that a long time ago.
Oh, this is the worst game I've seen from KQ. I remember this now. 3 for 17 for Kevin
Damn.
Kiambao. So, I think mga pwede rin natin ma-suggest for Adamson here. Para tayong coaches, no? I'm just saying na Mike and KQ are shouldn't be on. Silang dalawa. You have to at least have one of them have a bad game in order to stay close. And for you to bring down LaSalle to just 32% from the field to make them score at that rate is incredibly hard to do, but I'm sure they're taking notes dito sa NU game on how they were contained. Kasi you wouldn't say nabigay itong laro na to eh. KQ played his usual minutes. Mike Phillips played his usual minutes, 31 minutes, 24. So it's a matter of ano yung mga schemes nila that made KQ shoot 3 for 17. 'Di ba? Yun yung mga titingnan mo on how NU played against this LaSalle team.
And
And
in a way,
LaSalle,
yeah,
mhm.
go ahead.
And LaSalle only had 14 assists here. They're a team that prides itself in making 20 plus assists per game. So how do you disrupt that? How do you bring that down? 'Di ba? So yun yung mga keys to the game for Adamson.
I think for them it's really because similar to NU, they play that kind of defense as well. That full court scrappy pressure defense. That's also something that's part of their defensive system. So for them, I think it's really more on trying to delay the offense so much so that they have little time, that LaSalle has little time when they cross half court to try and make things happen because LaSalle is a team that likes to move the basketball, likes to explore the options, especially with KQ there. But if they get the ball across with only little time on their shot clock to have their offense going, then that puts a lot of pressure on them. Then that maybe puts them in a situation where baka kumbaga if it's KQ who has the basketball, maybe he has to make plays for himself na lang, or he has to make something on the fly happen, di na within the flow of the offense, di na within the flow of the system. So I think that's something that Adamson can do.
Yeah, so interesting games this Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
excited. Oo.
it's you can't really say naman na talagang okay, sige, maybe you can it's a pretty fair point naman talaga to say na okay, baka sure na nga yung Adams yung Lasal bukas.
Bigyan Shuri Adams. Sure na sure
Pero
yan.
pero hindi sure natatambakan ng Lasal.
Yun yung hindi sure. Kasi
Hindi
medyo nag-iba
sure.
na yung laro nila eh.
Yeah,
Especially yung
yeah.
mga star players nila.
I have
And
full
Monty.
confidence that Adamson will be able to keep this close at the very least.
And I feel like it's gonna happen if Montebon plays like the Montebon we've seen the past three games. But if
Yep.
Montebon reverts back to the player that he was ng first round, it's gonna be a blowout. Yun lang yung sinasabi ko. Siya yung X factor talaga on how Adamson plays
Yeah, and
tomorrow.
with Manzano getting all those top passes, having a double-double, he has to have a double-double. He has to play his A game along with Montebon. And of course, like the guys that I mentioned earlier, si Hierro, tsaka si Kalisay. And of course, si Franzman. Franzman is the
Si
third leading.
Erolon din. Mga
Si Erolon
three-pointers
din.
sila.
Oh,
Erolon also. So, everything has to go well for
very
Adamson.
important nga na gumana yung shooting nila bukas. That's because LaSalle being the taller team, you have to be able to knock down your three-point shots because that really changes things up facing facing the LaSalle defense.
Mm-hmm. Yun lang naman, at least for the Final Four. So, can't wait. Ang papanood ko talaga live is UST UP. And then, Pilipinas live for DLSU and Adamson. Kasi,
Di ka naman nanonood ng second game?
may wedding ako na attend sa gabi.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
7:30. So, tama lang. After ng yung UST versus UP, diretso ako, Siyang.
Lapit lang. So, di
Is
naman
it?
siya.
Is it? Ay, hindi, malapit lang.
Lapit
Malapit lang.
lang.
Malapit
Siyang ba?
lang.
EDSA Siyang o Siyang
EDSA
BGC?
Siyang, EDSA Siyang, EDSA Siyang.
Lapit lang, lapit
Pero
lang.
I plan to leave bago yung mga
Oo,
school
oh.
chants
Kasi
kasi
mahirapan ka
imagine the
palabas sa
traffic
final.
palabas.
Yeah, bro.
UST.
Hassle yun, hassle yun. Okay, guys. So, that's it for our very quick Final Four preview for tomorrow. And comment your thoughts, your predictions, and try to chime in on the points that we've talked about during the episode. Thank you so much for your support, and we again implore you. We ask for your help to try and reach 100K subscribers before the end of the year. I hope we make it so that we get that silver play button. Maraming salamat, guys, and we have also some episodes coming up, so abangan niyo yan. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bago na tayo babay, no? Guys, kung
Oh,
napansin nyo, may araw sa labas, ah. Araw yan. Usually gabi,
one of the rare
record kami.
times we record during the day. Actually, guys, 8 a.m. pa lang ng umaga. Na joke lang.
But yun lang guys, salamat. Thank you always for listening to Shoot First. Peace.